22 people injured, including a 12-year-old boy, is the toll from the shelling of Kharkiv, Ukraine, on Saturday morning. Located near the border with Russia, Ukraine's second-largest city is regularly attacked by the Russians. In an earlier air raid on a civilian neighborhood in Kharkiv, 2 people were killed and more than 30 were injured. I was in bed asleep. I heard a loud bang, the sound of breaking glass, people screaming. When I looked around, I saw all the destruction, smoke, people running away. The house was filled with black smoke. The smell of burning was everywhere. On Thursday, the Russians used UMPB-5s, a new type of gliding bomb, weighing about 250 kilograms each, for the first time to shell Kharkiv. We know that the enemy, the Russian army, using tactical aviation, dropped 2 UMPB-5 aerial bombs. One of them hit the regional tuberculosis hospital. At that time, there were 13 patients and 15 employees there. On Saturday night, the Russian army attacked Ukraine using 235 drones and 27 missiles. 3 people were killed in the air raid in and around the city of Dnipro. Russia is intensifying its attacks, and last month was the bloodiest for Ukraine since the start of the war.
The daily barrage of Russian missiles and drones against Ukrainian cities and towns has continued to intensify with devastating consequences for the civilian population. According to the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, OHCHR, in June, civilian casualties in Ukraine reached a 3-year high.
The Russians claim to have captured more towns, Zeleny High in the Donetsk region and Malyivka in the Dnipropetrovsk region. Added to this is the siege of the city of Pokrovsk, and the Sumy region was attacked 4 times on Saturday alone. Russia's goal is becoming increasingly clear, meaning the Kremlin knows that there will be pressure for a ceasefire. Of course, it is possible to keep postponing the ceasefire, to lie to the Americans, to try to evade the issue. But Russia does not have infinite resources either. Now is the last moment when, first of all, we have a weather window, and secondly, we have the 50 days that Trump has given us. In other words, Putin believes that he will bring Ukraine to its knees. Donald Trump has indeed given the Russian dictator a 50-day ultimatum to end the war. However, when asked if he sees the possibility of imposing sanctions earlier, he replied that he does not rule it out. This includes so-called secondary sanctions, tariffs on goods from countries importing Russian oil, which would amount to 100%. But that's not all. The U.S. Department of Defense has approved the sale of military equipment to Ukraine. Its value is over $300 million. This is the first such agreement approved by Donald Trump. The equipment to be purchased by Kiev includes Bradley infantry fighting vehicles and Hawk air defense systems, which have already proven themselves on the battlefield. This is the next stage of pressure, given that so far it has not been effective in bilateral relations between Putin and Trump. I would also like to remind you that Putin has not been entirely clear in his stance on Iran and the Palestinian issue. He is trying to interfere with Trump in this Indo-Pacific theater, so Trump has kept these powerful negotiating tools for himself. And now the moment has come. Has the moment also come for a meeting and peace negotiations between Zelensky and Putin? Turkey is ready to organize them. The Kremlin, however, rejects this proposal. In the upcoming process, perhaps this week, through renewed telephone conversations with Putin and also with Donald Trump, we will strive to bring these leaders together in Istanbul. The president of Turkey announced that Donald Trump has confirmed his participation in peace talks between the leaders of Ukraine and Russia. Of course, if they take place at all.